cover contest winner. Who the voted for that guy?
So, I'm going to drink this coffee.
Looks good.
I don't know what it is.
It's a colada.
Is it? What is this, John?
It's a colada. It's a
colada?
A shitload of espresso, sugar, and a little bit of milk.
This is going to be good just before the podcast. We're talking like an auctioneer by the time this is done.
Yeah.
Are we going?
We're rolling.
Woo. Steve.
What's up?
Steve-O. What's up, brother?
How are you?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So, tell me of the ways of Florida Sport Fishing magazine. What are you working on? You were just jumping in the water, some mullet, you're saying?
That was fun. Sunday, I went to the beach, found some mullet, but dark, bad viz, so nothing really to show. But we've been doing swordfish tagging for the magazine, actually. We did 4 days with Bobby.
Oh, that's right. This is sat tags, right?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Perfect. First day caught 3, second day caught 2, another day caught 1.
And a thresher too, right?
Yeah, I hooked some sharks, but the sat tags were cool. Watching Bobby really just finesse the fish to the surface, so they were kind of calm because we're holding them boat side for a minute.
He's a man with that.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That's cool. So you jumped in the water with thresher shark?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
I mean, it was nothing. They're a calm shark, and you can tell by their big eyes they live in the deep, dark water, so they don't want to be at the surface. He's straight going back down as soon as we got him off the hook, and no threshing the tail or any of that stuff.
Right,
so.
yeah. I always think about that, like what do fish think about? Like once they see people, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this?
That fish may have never seen
The
a
hell?
boat or anything.
The hell are these things?
Yeah. No, there's potential there. Obviously, you see the tail freaking beating and whipping fish or whipping a boat. So it's on your mind, but I'm so focused looking through the viewfinder that it's not something you worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. The how fast should I be drinking this? This
Depends
like,
how you want to feel.
So
that am I going to start having a heart attack?
That comes with like 4 extra cups that you share with people.
Yeah.
Does it really?
Yeah.
No.
It does.
No little cups.
No, stop.
I swear.
So should I not be drinking this whole thing?
I do myself. I drank it, but your heart's going to be pounding here.
Really?
I drank one before. I'm all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Colada? No.
There's like,
Colada.
Like
I don't know. There's maybe like 4 shots of espresso, 5 shots in there.
All right, I'm going to ease up on this thing.
There's only one O.
I'll start drinking water. Steve, yeah, like the headline's going to be like, editor from Florida Sports Fishing Magazine comes on podcast, and the host has a heart attack and dies because he drank something.
You'll survive.
Yeah, I think so. Hope so. So,
What's this bill right here in front of me?
that's a sword bill.
I know that.
That was that was given to me, I don't know, about 5 years ago, and there it lays, unpainted, because I don't have time to do things for myself ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should. It'd be badass.
I know. Well, what I was thinking about doing with that is I'm going to do like a combination, scrimshaw, and just like light wash colors, not like anything too dark and opaque.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to plot that course and figure that out. And I want to do something different. I know a lot of these guys do these like Bobby and stuff like that. And I just want to kind of maybe see what kind of different route I could do. Maybe I'll take more of a modern approach on it, but I just really love all that traditional compass and map look that goes into a lot of these too. And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out something interesting on it.
Have you seen the guys that kind of like grind it down so you can see through it? And it's almost like it's a carving more than anything.
Okay.
It's pretty neat, but it gives it a real 3D look because it's all
They hollow it out?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Oh, you mean like a recessed kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
It's probably you'd have to have the right.
Well, maybe I could do
bill,
something like that.
or the oil, density is going to change in there. It's going to be difficult, but if it's cured
So
right.
this thing is, well, yeah, I mean,
That one's heavy.
it's heavy. It's a good one. Pick that up.
No, yeah, that's a
It's a good one.
250 to 300 pound fish for sure.
Yeah. And then Chris Dorn gave me a couple of ones recently. That one doesn't smell. The ones that Chris gave me still stink a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I got them out back in at the house, and I'm just like, oh, these aren't done. So he hands them to me, and like 2 hours later, we're like, what the hell is that smell in the studio? I'm like, I think it's those bills. So
yeah, nasty fish.
Had to take those out. So so thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, dude.
I appreciate you stopping by.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah, right. Thanks for coming to the Everglades studio. Everyone always makes fun of me. They're like, "Why the hell are you in Coral Springs?" Well, I mean, the reality is after we sold our house, we were supposed to rent a place out here for like a year and be close to my parents while we were having the kids, and that turned into 7 years later.
Yeah,
got into one of those patterns. So we're gonna be out in Pompano soon, I think. Though
you're coming to Pompano?
I think so.
Nice.
Yeah, we're back out there.
Right on.
So I'm starting to feel the colada. It's starting to heat up on me.
Yeah. We shouldn't have said anything.
You should have brought some.
He's only got a quarter of it down.
You shouldn't have said anything. Feel like the stock market in here.
You never had one of those?
I never had one of these. They just handed me this. They're like, "Here, we brought this back for you because they know I want."
You might not sleep tonight.
Really? No, not that bad.
You might be painting that bill later on tonight.
I was complaining to John, like, for the afternoon podcast. I was like, "Oh man, I was getting a little tired on the last one. Maybe I should just start pounding coffee before it." And so this thing arrives. It tastes good though. I'm gonna still drink it.
Nice.
Yeah. So you've been in Florida sport fishing for a while now?
Yep, almost 12 years, I think.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, 2007.
Good for you.
It's been a ride. Started part-time, and
that's your baby now.
It is, dude.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome. So tell me some stories about what you got going on right now.
We're working on November, December right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got some cold water redfish stuff. You know, I mentioned that sat tagging thing, which is really exciting. These guys from University of Washington, they developed a new spot tag that fits on the dorsal fin of a swordfish, similar to the great white ones they're using, but the tag,
like those O-search ones.
Yeah, but the tag's smaller, more streamlined, and it has a different application of installing it than what the shark guys do, because the swordfish bill is a lot softer. The dorsal is softer, so they can get through faster. So that's interesting. And I just heard that those tags are going to start being populated on the O-search website. So we'll be able to track the swordfish that we tagged pretty much live. So that's really neat. No one's done that with swords before.
Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, but the sat tag, it's going to register no matter how deep it is?
Well, there's two. We deployed two tags. One of them is a PSAT, which is a pop-up satellite art, and that one just collects data forever, and then when it pops off, you get that stuff sent back to the satellite.
Okay.
The other tags we were using, the spot tags, that only transmits data if the little tiny receiver is popping out of the surface. So the swordfish or the shark or whatever is tagged has to be on the surface, and the little antenna has to be sticking out of the water. So at first I was like, these swordfish,
unless they get caught,
they might not ever come back to the surface, because we don't have fish that kind of like bask in the sun like they do in California or Maine or wherever, cold water climate. So when the scientists put all this effort in, I was like, in my head, we might not ever get anything out of these fish unless they swim somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And then sure enough, after the first day, that night, one of the fish came to the surface and sat there for like 15 seconds and then went back down deep. And then over the course of the rest of the week, we fished, we had a lay day for weather, and we had another day we were at the dock. 4 of the 5 fish we tagged already had pinged multiple times in the first week. So I was like pretty shocked that was even going to happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Really, really neat.
So is this the first time that swordfish have ever been sat tagged? Or?
They've done the pop-up tags before in California. They've tagged a lot of swordfish, but the way we did it on the dorsal, I believe that's new for the spot tag.
Right.
So that's the live tracking. They've done a lot of the tracking where you get the depth and temperature and ambient light, but the real-time tracking is kind of what they're all excited about now. Mm-hmm. But you can read the article. They're more excited about learning about the deep water fish that swordfish rely on to eat. So, one of the only fish that goes up and down the water column like that every day, we're learning how important the deep water mackerels and squids and all those weird fish we find in the swordfish bellies, they don't know how much of that's down there. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, they're trying to learn this new realm, and the swordfish is how they're uncovering the secrets.
That's awesome.
So
that's cool to be contributing to that.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy about the magazine is every day is different. You know, some days I might go red fishing in the Indian River Lagoon. Next day I might be fishing with Bobby in the Gulf Stream catching swords. So I try to just what I enjoy is what I think the readers would enjoy reading. So it's like kind of living my life through the pages. Like if I think it's cool, then I think everyone else might enjoy it too.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the book. You know, like you've been there for 12 years. You're saying before, but it's kind of like an outpouring of yourself. You know, which is cool, and I think that speaks to you, and it speaks to the book. That is like your life in portfolfolio.
It is
right there.
It'll be neat, you know,
because a lot of it's your photography too.
Yeah, and that's how we've been successful. You know, print industry is so-called dying, but for a small print house like us with one title, we had another title that fell, but with one title, small group of people, 10 of us, you know, we're not fighting big corporate budgets and stuff like that. So we're thriving when other magazines are struggling.
Yeah, and I think that's cool because being that you guys are an independently, you know, run publication, you control your destiny a little bit better than
pretty much,
you know, corporate bottom lines and everything like that.
And that's what I enjoy too. I'm not, you know, handcuffed. I can approach Mike with my editorial calendar, and it can be whatever I see fitting, and he'll trust me, and he doesn't care as long as it happens on deadline, and that's been going so far like that. So
yeah,
I have the freedom. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that is nice. And I mean, now you get really the ultimate freedom, I think, on it. But that's good. You know.
Yeah.
I remember when I first quit my day job. I'm still drinking this thing. I can't believe I'm a glutton for punishment. Need to put some tequila or something in here. What goes good with coffee?
That coffee Patron would be good.
Yeah, right? That'd be perfect. Or maybe some Papa's Pilar.
Ooh.
You should have brought a bottle of that with you.
I got to drive back to the East Coast.
Yeah. So I quit my day job, and I remember I had this tarpon painting going on, and my wife was like, okay, what's the first thing you're going to work on? Right. And I'm like, well, I'm going to finish this painting. And so I just took the first few weeks and I finished it out. I've been working on that painting for months, like on my own, and entered it into the Florida Sport Fishing cover contest, and it got hit.
There you go.
Yeah. That's what got us rolling.
That was the beginning of a good run.
Yeah.
You had a few covers, so.
Yeah, so I'm always thankful to they always say don't forget where you started and the people that got you there and things like that. So I'm proud to still be your friend and still, you know, working with you guys.
We have also in this upcoming issue, we're doing the bridge story. It's a little late to happen, but it's going in now. So that'll be cool. Might get a little cover shot. We don't know.
Cool. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you. You know, it does mean a lot to me. You know, it really does. You know, I don't want anyone to think they ever take anything for granted in this business and this at times cliquey world that we work in.
Yeah, cliquey and small. It's a small world.
Yeah.
Fishing industry stuff.
All right. So I'm not going to give you crap about your scale shirt. I'm just kidding. Matt, Keith, I love you guys.
Yeah, you do.
So I want to talk a little bit about your photography because whether people know it or not, they see your work all over the place. Like, you know, and tell me, how did you really first like get in the photography? You know, I know you got a surfing background, obviously a fishing background. It's like a passion, you know, play for you with the photography, and you're able to work that into your day job and everything like that. But when did that really get started?
I guess, well, I reached out to the magazine when I was going to FAU, and I was just trying to sell fishing photos to make beer money. And that got the hit with the mag for that story. But
so that's how Mike found you, was for you throwing photos at him?
I threw him to every magazine, and he was like, well, I'm actually looking to hire an assistant, you know, part-time. So I was like, yeah, you know, and he's notorious for like 5 interviews before you get a job, 6 interviews. Yeah. So I was like, all right, enough already. Just gonna have hired or what? So that was the transition from that. But I guess when I was a kid and I was fishing, I'd fished a lot when I was little with my dad and caught blue marlin when I was 12 or so. So I started being comfortable watching other people catch fish or doing something on the boat, stay busy. And then I picked up a camera, and that was kind of where I started from that. Point and shoot cameras. And then, like you said, I love to surf, and I love to dive and snorkel and just anything in the water. When I was a kid, we were just always in the ocean. So I'm comfortable jumping in the ocean anywhere, like Gulf Stream. People are afraid of deep water. But that's the best. You can see 1,000 feet of visibility.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't know. I enjoy that, and it's like calming to be in that element. So
yeah, that's people are always afraid to jump in the open water, but really the shallow water is way more dangerous.
yeah, like 100 feet of water I'm pointing. No.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, those guys jumped in the water. I was just on that Unfathomed with George, and we caught that sailfish, and those dudes jumped in the water. And I didn't know he was going to jump in the water. All he just puts a bag over the camera, like just strips down to his underwear and just like jumps in.
Huh.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I guess that's happening. But we're like 150, and I'm like a bunch of bait in the water and everything like that. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
we have a big shark problem. It's not a secret anymore.
Yeah. So what's your take on that though? Like when you talk about like conservation and all, I just had a really good talk with George Martinez on the previous episode about conservation and captain responsibility and clean water responsibility and educating your customers so they go back and become ambassadors like from your tree branch and and they can build a culture of conservation and but sometimes I think there's overreach, right? And you care to talk to me about a little bit of that stuff, like the paying the tax man kind of stuff?
I mean, the overreach is there, and it's with other species too, like the red snapper. There's a little extra protection,
Right. Yep.
And the sharks obviously signal healthy ecosystems, but that's to a certain extent. I feel like where we live, and it's growing towards the Carolinas and in the Gulf, we have a unique shark problem. That's not what the scientists see on a global scale, where there's places where there's no sharks and the ecosystems are nearing collapse. We have a lot of bait. We have a lot of predator fish. So, of course, there's sharks. But if there was a market like there used to be for sharks, that may help limit the population. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, we're not calling for shark fin soup or anything like that, but
no.
But at least, there's like they're highly regulated. I think also to that video that surfaced off the West Coast of those kids dragging that shark.
Yeah.
Didn't help.
No.
That theory either.
But that's the thing. You have the fishermen who see what happens on the water every day, and you have people who see that on social media who've maybe never seen a shark before.
Yeah.
Never seen fish get released. There's a lot of what ifs there. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the backlash from the media, socially, or however it comes, because they don't have the knowledge of what we see every day on the water.
Yeah. And it's that's an important thing too, because the captains and the professionals and the guys that are on the water for a living are the ones that are actually the true champions of conserving that space.
Yeah.
And more so than any environmentalist ever will be, because those are the guys that have to live there.
Yeah.
It's basically like saying, hey, this is my house. I'm going to keep it clean. I'm going to keep it right and keep all the bills paid, right? When you come and visit my house, don't tell me how to run it, right? That's pretty much the same idea.
Yeah. But if you were asking me if there's more sharks now than there were 20 years ago, of course.
Right.
There are.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
Florida too, especially, is like, people were talking about the Pacific and they got the big great whites and everything. And Shark Week is always dominated by the great white stories and everything like that. But I just kind of wish maybe they'd spread the word about some of the smaller sharks.
Some of the smaller sharks. Do you know which one will get you too? Is the oceanic white tip.
Yeah.
Because they're open ocean. They may be on a piece of debris or something swimming for months or weeks before they eat. So if they see you, you're toast, dude.
Yep.
You're toast.
Yeah.
You're the first thing they've seen in a long time. They're not going to really think twice.
I was in Panama years ago, and we found a log with baits, and there's tunas jumping over the log. It was badass National Geographic stuff. And
good shots of that?
Well, I was halfway over the transom, and I saw the white tip fin, and I was like, back in the boat real quick, dude. We were like 60 miles out, kind of exotic terrain. Trip? No, we were off like central Panama on a mothership.
Oh, okay.
And it was like real remote. We were doing our own thing.
When was this?
8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It was when there was a tsunami, and we were on this mothership, and we were anchored up in the bay. It's a 100-foot steel boat, big boat. And they're like, we have a tsunami coming. They detected it, all the underwater stuff. And they're like, watch this. It went from low tide to high tide, back to low tide in like 4 minutes. Like you could see the anchor swing. You could see the boat move. You saw the water rise in the bay. It was nuts. Like the water receded. It was a mini tsunami, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been cool to see.
It was cool, but it's like
scary.
It kind of created a red tide, or it brought in some different water, and the fish. We were supposed to black marlin fish on the reef, and it was like non-existent. So we popped and jigged the coast for like 5 days in a row. It was just exhausting.
Right. You didn't get anything on the trip then?
No, we caught roosters and cuberas and cool bluefin troalies and pargos and all those green snappers and whatever.
Yeah.
We probably caught like 35 species or more, like weird coney grouper, big red things.
The coney.
Yeah, it was good. Panama's probably the best place to go fishing.
Yeah.
If you really
is that your like the ultimate destination?
Yeah.
What's the furthest out you've been?
I don't know. We fished Coiba and Hannibal Bank. You're not terribly far offshore, but you're like 60 miles from the lodge or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
You didn't take a trip to Australia, did you?
No, I've never been there. But that's Great Barrier Reef, black marlin.
Yeah. I know Pete's been there.
Yeah.
Didn't he go there on his honeymoon or something?
He did, but he didn't fish the Barrier Reef. He snorkeled or something. They trout fished in New Zealand too, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like, in the print world, it's impossible for me to go to Australia because I want to be there for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Right. Yeah. You're going to miss deadline.
Something's going to pop up. I got to be around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in our neck of the woods, Panama is like, they got billfish, they got tuna, they got the variety of snappers and rooster fish.
Yeah, I still haven't been down here yet. Drew Thompson and I were talking about Rods by Drew. We were talking about going, and just our families just going together.
Go see Shane. He's got the island. It's awesome. You're on your own. You're kind of catered to. You got the boats to yourself.
Yeah, I just spoke to him. It was just with Adrian and I were walking around iCast and just talked to him about it. So I'm really dying to get down there.
It's good. You get some inspiration.
Yeah, for sure. I might be going to Guatemala in December.
Yeah, with Charlie.
No, with Ozzy.
Yeah.
Well,
Charlie's doing it's not Marlin University. He's gonna hate I said that, but it's it's Fish Tracks teaching school.
They're doing it at Pacific Fins?
Yeah, Tony DeJulian's going.
When is this?
It's in December.
Oh, I got to talk to him. I haven't set my dates yet.
You might be going.
Because Ozzy's basically like, whenever you want to come down, just let me know what your December dates are.
Shane from Panama wants to go because they catch sailfish, but they catch them on like the outside of a bait ball. It's not like they're not targeting them and catching a bunch like they do in Guatemala. So he wants to go see that and experience their Pacific Fins Lodge. So I'm going to try to get on that trip too.
Really?
So that'd be fun if we could all go together.
Yeah, dude. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but we're thinking December. It gets, that's prime time. December, January.
Right. Yeah, Ozzy was texting me this morning. He's like, hey, you set your dates yet? I'm like, no. So we're trying to get someone to watch our kids. So that's a thing for 3 days. That's the big deal. So, yeah. My parents are getting a little older now, so it's like leaving them with a 6-year-old and 8-year-old. It's like a little bit of a heavy ask. Mm-hmm. So, my sister's listening to this show. Like, you're going to get asked to like fly down for like 3 days and like pretty soon.
It's nice though. It's easy to get there. I love it. I've been there a few times. It's a cool spot.
Yeah. Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island was another one. You ever been up that way?
I did. I had a trip there that didn't end so well.
Yeah,
we didn't catch anything.
Oh.
We were like a week early before the commercial herring fishermen start setting their nets. So
yeah, how does all that work? I'm completely unfamiliar with that style of fishing.
They deploy a net, and it's on a buoy, and it's kind of, I don't know the name of the net, but it goes into the water column, and the herring, it's like a gill net, basically. They get stuck in it. So then the fish will run into the net to shake them free, or they even hear the boats coming, and they hear the nets and the gear.
Oh, so they're trained.
Almost.
They're like the Bahamian sharks.
So pretty much, in the channel.
Yeah.
So we there weren't anyone netting, so the fish weren't really found yet, and it was early season. So we fished for like 4 or 5 days, sun up to sundown. One day it's 80 degrees, the next day it's like 40 and blowing and raining and just like wicked weather up there, but beautiful coast. So we fished and then didn't catch anything. Caught a seal, hooked a seal. That was the only thing we hooked.
A seal?
Or sea lion. I'm not sure what it is.
Whatever.
I don't have much experience with that.
Did you foul hook him?
No, he ate a circle hook and a giant bait.
He ate a circle hook?
And the guys were like, this happens often, but they're like,
oh my God.
If it stays down for like 20, 30 seconds on the run, it's a tuna because the sea lion's got to come up for air. So the guys in the harness, in the bucket seat.
Are you kidding me?
Like toe to toe. And then it comes up, and we're like, oh, man. So
no,
that was the highlight of the trip.
That was the highlight of the trip.
And then I had a trip. I was going to fish with Ozzy and Scott Walker. This was during Hurricane Matthew, which was like 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years.
Yeah.
And, they're from Miami and the Keys, and the storm was kind of doing that West End Grand Bahama thing again. So
right.
Where I live up north in Palm Beach County, we were still like in the cone. And my wife was pregnant, so I couldn't leave her with the house. I'm like, I'm going tuna fishing.
Yeah.
So I had to like cancel. I got screwed on my ticket, and they went and caught him and just sent me pictures all week of like releasing giant fish. So
that's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Like when you can't make it, that's when it's gangbusters.
Yep. But for that trip, I had a 5 mil.
But you're still married though, so it's cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I made the right decision, but the storm didn't do anything for us.
Yeah.
And I could have totally been there.
Yeah.
Like I blew it. I had a 5 mil wetsuit with a fused hoodie. So I was like ready to jump in because it's cold shit up there sometimes. Like it looks nice in September, October, but it's still, you're up there.
Yeah. Ozzy was showing us some pictures because he stood up front like this 800-pound.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll never do that again.
They fish in PEI, and I fished in Antigonish, which is like on the mainland.
Okay.
And so it's like they're not far away, but there's fish everywhere in that channel. So we're not fishing. We would never see them, but we fished with some local guys who were pretty dialed.
Yeah, that's good.
But the day we were on our flight, the guy's like, "Oh, we just caught one at the spot we fished for 5 days in a row, first fish of the season." I'm like, that's it. Normally I have good luck though. Yeah. That's like the only story that I can remember where it's been just like.
Yeah, I was going to say, I rarely hear of you not coming back like in glory on a lot of your trips.
Going after bluefins, I guess it's like kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's not like you're mahi fishing or something.
Right. You come back and you're like, no.
But we'll get up there again.
You fish with Wild Bill a lot then, right?
Yeah, he's grown to be a good friend. He's a really nice guy. We first fished.
You guys on the Polar team together?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
We like to drink rum.
Yeah.
Had some good rum.
But you didn't bring any? That's cool.
No, it's still early. I got to go back to my office. But yeah, we first fished, I think it was in Guatemala at Pacific Fins. And then we did another trip to Panama, and we fished in Delacroix for redfish, and we've done a good little tour.
Yeah, that's cool. I was talking to Rob at Olokai, and because he's Wild Bill sponsored by Olokai too, and they're like we never know where to send any of the product to him because he's never home.
He lives out of a suitcase, no doubt.
Yeah.
But he's got a house in Mexico too. He's always trying to get me down there. They catch a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Getting geared up for sailfish season. Are you going to fish the circuit this year?
I'll do a couple events, but I'm not full time right now.
No. Yeah. Too much going on with the book.
It's a lot, and I got my kid now, and there might be another one coming.
Whoa! Making a national announcement. Well, national for our 60 subscribers.
So it's going to be a busy winter, but I definitely want to get back out there full time.
Yeah, nice.
I miss it a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. How you like being a dad now?
It's awesome. It's the best thing that could ever happen.
I'm telling you, the most rewarding and challenging thing you could ever do in your life is be a father.
It should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that too. You know what I mean? Because my wife and I, we kind of waited a while to get married, and I'm probably going to speak more to this one over here.
Yeah,
who just got married, but I kind of wish maybe kids would have come along a little sooner because now my back is killing me. I'm like 45 years old, and I'm like a 6 and an 8 year old, and I'm just like, I wish I would have been done this in my young 30s. But.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work, but it's rewarding. So
yeah, that's
stoked.
cool.
We're happy.
They're fishing now, and
No, he's only
paddleboarding, or
he's doing some swim classes and stuff, but we're not. He loves the beach. He'll run straight into the shore break, but not much fishing yet. That's gonna come soon.
Well, how old is he now?
It's only a year and a half.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
I thought he was a little older than that.
No.
Well, so you're still in the fresh stages, man.
Just getting fired up. He's learning to climb.
There's more to come, Steve.
Oh God,
more to come.
I know. No, it's fun though. We love it.
Yeah, that's good. How's the missus holding up?
She's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you paddle out this last hurricane?
We surfed. You know what sucks is they had the bridges closed everywhere, so we couldn't get to the Boynton Inlet. We couldn't get to Delray Beach. We had to surf, and Boca was the first place that the cops would let you over the bridge. Mm-hmm. So we surfed. It was all right, but it was really drifty. So we did a big walk, and then I don't know. It wasn't ideal, but it was. It's good to surf when we can in Florida. We don't have much of anything.
I saw Rory. Rory Camp. He posted some pictures like right off of the pier. It was just like firing. Yeah, like at one of the sunsets. But I think that was really the only time that it was going off like that.
We had those king tides too, so that really affects how deep it breaks and how heavy the wave is. So it was tough. You know, it wasn't ideal. The last 2 days from whatever storm's out there, Umberto, I think it's called. There's good waves up coast right now, but
right now,
yeah. And yesterday it was pretty good. Jupiter was fun, but
yeah, I haven't even checked. I mean, I haven't really been surfing a lot lately.
It's tough. If you want to be on it down here, you gotta chase it. You gotta be on it. And we were always on it when we were little, but now
I need to paddle this down a little bit more before I start paddling out.
Just need more foam.
Yeah, I got my 7.6 Almeric Wave Hog in the next room over, but yeah, it's been collecting dust lately, so it's been a while.
Let's get out there.
Let's go. I'll do it. It was Costa Rica. Like 2 or 3 years ago, it was like the last time I actually paddled out. So I live in this is my coffin now. Like I don't get out of here. I'm just like, I don't know.
I'm trying to go surf.
This is almost gone.
Ozzy's talking about waves in Guatemala.
Yeah, I asked him about that. He's like, dude,
it's big. Like if we go out the one inlet, sometimes you leave out of the marina. Sometimes you go to the inlet, which is the dock that's right behind the resort. Mm-hmm. And that inlet is nasty. Like, it's rough. There's big Pacific swells, and you got to time it right to get out there. You're stuffing the bow in those boats, and this little Grom kid surfing there on broken boards, and it's good. A lot of jetties, a lot of wedges like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
But you don't know what's in that water right there.
I shouldn't have drank as much of this as I did.
Come on.
It's almost gone.
Might as well finish it now.
Yeah, might as well finish it now.
If you don't finish
that's the most potent part.
The bottom's going to get all like congealed and just like thick as mud. You won't even be able to drink it.
Yep. You got to drink it now.
You got to drink it now or it's going to harden up.
Come on, stop. It's peer pressure. You're not setting a good example, Dad. So you're going to surf in Guatemala?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'm not going to travel with the board or anything, so that'll be tough. But if they can get something down there, they should have some at the lodge. That'd be cool for people that want to take a lay day, fish.
That's true.
Surf. But they also just, he was telling me about the rooster fishing they're doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
he mentioned that he said they have pretty good numbers. They don't have the size of the ones in Costa Rica and stuff he was saying, but yeah, they make up for it in quantity.
That's badass.
Not as many cuberos, he was saying, but
their luck was probably wiped them out.
Yeah, more of the roosters, and we were talking about maybe getting them from the beach, possibly with the poppers. Or actually, he was saying,
yeah, he said
he's traditionally trolling for them.
Dredges, I think he's trolling dredges.
Yeah, right off the beach, they're trolling for him. He said, they're right there behind the swell.
Yeah,
but that's how I want to get one from the surf rod. I was always talking about going to Mexico and fishing up there, but if I can get one down there,
hell yeah. Yeah, they're tricky fish. I mean, I've thrown poppers for days and not caught them. Mm-hmm. Like some places they don't react as well to poppers, and then you put out a little sardine and it's like right away you catch. Which obviously everything eats sardines and they love them. But some places you go, or people have trips where they're just tossing poppers and catching fish like all the time. Whereas I haven't seen that like explosive rooster popper bite. Mostly been on like fishing a live bonita or like big bait,
right?
Deep water.
They'll probably get fired up like that when they're on the bait pods and stuff off the beach.
Yeah.
I went in Costa Rica with some old dude on a pontoon. A couple of my buddies from Tuna Skin, and just like we went out there and popping. pop. And like after a while, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. Like when I catch any fish, the freaking shoulder's killing me. Like I'm just gonna lay back and enjoy the coastline and whatever. So
we did that. Zancudo Lodge is great. They've got little pangas, and you're fishing right in the surf, like 10 feet off the beach.
What did I say? Pontoon? I meant
You
to
did say
yeah, I meant to
pontoon.
say panga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's
It's
like
the only
We went out
pontoon down
redneck
there.
style, baby. In Costa Rica, freaking cracked the Miller Lite. Ooh, we're damn roosters. Pontoon.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Made of 55-gallon drums.
Yeah. We went out Melbourne style.
No, but that's
I love
fun.
my people in Melbourne, by the way.
Pangas are fun. They're good boats. You know, they're unbreakable. So
Yeah. I was going right off the beach, and I mean, you've been to Costa Rica. You know the place where the mermaid is?
the mermaid.
Just kind of like south of Jaco, like about maybe like a half an hour.
I try not to go there.
You try not to go there.
Yeah, Jaco is like the dirt hole town.
No, but I know, but it's south of.
Oh.
It's like on your way to Capos, like in between Los Sueños and Capos. There's this spot. Anyway, this old guy, like old Bane of the Sea style, and the panga is sitting like right there in the water. We'd like head out from the beach and just like brave the surf and like pretty much like you're looking like a wall of water, and we're on a freaking dive. And apparently, this dude's been doing this his whole life. It's like, yeah, it's perfect.
Wow.
Had us out there.
We did a surf trip to Nicaragua, and we chartered a boat to fish, and the panga comes up, and it was like the waves peaked that day, and it was offshore winds, and it was like perfect surfing day, and we're like, well, now we got to go fishing. This sucks.
Yeah.
And the guy's like waving. He's like, come on. And we're like, we all had to swim through like overhead shore break to get out there.
Are you serious?
We were like, and I had my water housing, so like my buddy was like stuffing his cigarettes in there to stay dry, and like whatever space we had, we occupied it, and we were just soaked like all day, salty, and then like they kick you off again. You had to swim in.
Yeah.
But it's
I was supposed to go to Nicaragua for a tournament that I do the art for every year.
Florida Canya tournament, right?
No, it wasn't the Florida Canya. It was the one that Emilio does before that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And then this stuff started going down in Nicaragua, and he's like, "Oh, you might not want to come right now." And yeah, unfortunately, that's one of those countries that's in constant up and down mode.
Yeah, once you get out of the city, you're fine though. Like I was on the coast, and it was totally mellow. And I know guys that are there right now, it's fine. But when we drove back to the city, there was a riot, and the cab driver was like, "Get down in the back," so they couldn't see that I was like a gringo in the back seat. And they drove me to the airport. But it was like a little unsettling, you know.
Was that, Steve? Was it a little unsettling that you had to like be the white guy in the country, like hide under a
Sit
pile
there
of
and
coats,
scream, be like, "Oh no!"
just so you could survive?
Whatever, you're going to the airport, you'll make it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's all right.
yeah, it's all right.
No big deal.
No big deal. All right, cool. So what else is going with you? Tell me some stories, man. Where are you heading next? Get some traveling coming up?
No, like the winters, we always stay here and sailfish mostly. So it's like I'd like to go to Guatemala and do that.
Right.
That place is like an escape in the winter. Other than that, nothing.
Are you
really.
fishing with the Pilar team? Or are you fishing with Art at all?
I'll do like a couple tournaments with Art, and I've been fishing the Jimmy Johnson with Pilar team the last couple years. But I'm not sure what we're gonna do this year.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm always just kind of hopping
Was
around.
that his boat that you messed up your spleen?
That was the liquid boat.
That was a liquid boat, right?
Yeah.
What happened? I don't think you ever told me this whole story.
You may not have remembered it, but we talked about
We
it.
did talk about it? All right.
The first
Was I drinking?
Probably, yeah.
There you go.
So the first time it happened, we were fishing the Miami Sailfish 500. What is it called?
400.
400.
Yeah.
And Jimmy fishes the bow rod spinner. So he's always up there by himself. We're in the stern, working the kites, not really paying attention. And he hooked a mahi. Thing's not a big fish, so no one gave a crap about it. And the thing's flopping around. He's like, "Can someone come gaff?" He's screaming at us. We're like, "Fuck!" I was like, "I'll go do it." Well, he left the bow hatch and the floor open, and I'm holding this giant fiberglass gaff, and I step in the hole and like kind of scorpion over the pole, the gaff. Part of it hits the gunnel and part of it hits the deck. And I pop up, and Art's is in tower, and he's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, no big deal." We gaff the fish. I go back fishing, whatever. We spend the night in Miami. We party all night, whatever. I wake up. It was Sunday. Went to the awards ceremony, whatever. Went home. Monday, I was at work, and I had this, like, piercing pain in my shoulder. I was like, something's weird. Like, this is really weird. And I walked to the hospital, and I saw my doc, who's used to fish with salesmen. He's a doctor in the ER. And he he was like, dude,
Chris?
you don't look so good. And I was probably like as white as that sword bill right there. And I was like, my left shoulder is like dying, dude. And he's like, oh, you ruptured your spleen. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then they did a CAT scan, and so I ruptured my spleen. But that time around, I had to have some blood transfusions because I was like really bleeding internally for a few days. So
Could you have died for that?
If you keep bleeding out, yeah, no doubt.
Not bleeding out, but like not internally. Like, is there like an appendix toxicity?
No. You can live a good life without your spleen, but you kind of want it because it cleans your blood.
Okay.
So they filled me with titanium to, fortify it, stent the veins and stuff, and then whatever. I healed, surfing, fishing, doing everything. No care. Nothing's holding me back.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 2 years later, and it was on the same boat, same model boat, different name. It went from Liquid to Native Sun.
Right.
But same group of guys, identical team, everything. I think we were fishing the Sailfish 400 again, but it was we were fishing Operation Sailfish in Palm Beach, and this time I stepped in the stern well. So we're looking at the kites, we're looking at the motors, and we're shoulder to shoulder, six people deep.
You did it again?
And so this time it was Keith. He left the well open, and I stepped back into it and kind of like twisted weird. I think I hit my side on the where the hole is. Got up, same thing. Got up, no big deal. I'm fine. 2 days later, what's my shoulder? So it's time I go to the hospital, and I walk in, and I'm like, I ruptured my spleen.
You didn't see Chris wasn't there waiting for you.
No. So I go, I ruptured my spleen. I need to go back and get a CAT scan.
My shoulder hurts.
It was rough. It was like there's a ton of people in the hospital, and they're like, it's gonna be a while. And I'm like, no, like this is right now. And so the lady kind of like brushed me off, obviously, and I start fussing and complaining and making a storm. And they take me back and give me a CAT scan, and she's like, how'd you know you ruptured your spleen? And I was like, so
that was it.
So that was it. That I recovered better from that one, but still, yeah, no lasting side effects. I'm all good.
How long ago was that? The second time?
I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 years ago.
Okay, so you're out of your 2-year window.
Oh yeah, we're good.
So it's like
I've surfed big waves and takes the worst is when you just pearl on the takeoff and you're just smacking the surface of the water. And I'm like, oh, that was probably not so good. But I haven't had anything hold me back.
Completely my ignorance. Where's your spleen?
It's tucked under your rib cage on your left side.
On your left side.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you fall, and it happens a lot, car accidents do it because people hit the steering wheel if they don't have a seatbelt on.
Okay.
That's kind of I think how the gaff shaft got me the first time. I kind of folded over it, I believe. I don't know, but we were filming Wild Bills for Jamie's show that was on TV, and they had GoPros rolling in every direction.
Oh, so that happened on camera?
Yeah, and I'm still I would love to see the footage. It'd be hilarious.
You've never seen it?
No.
Oh man.
And they ran the show and they didn't even talk about it. I'm like, that would have been the best closing clip of a dude ridiculousness scorpion. But
you got to be able to get that. Jamie's probably got that somewhere.
Yeah, who knows? They took a lot of footage. They rolled footage all day, every day for every tournament from 5 or 6 different angles. So that shit's gone.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ruptured your spleen twice.
That's why they call me Spleeno.
Spleeno. That's why they call me Spleeno. We're gonna do an edit breakdown of this show, and then that's what we're gonna cut that, and that's why we call me Spleeno. Should I finish this?
Yeah, you're there.
If it's not mud yet,
it's not mud, and that's why I was kind of pacing it out.
It will start to turn pretty thick though if you leave it there.
That's all right. It's still kind of loose. I was just pacing out just to gauge how I'm feeling now, and I'm good.
It's a lot of sugar right there.
Yeah, that's probably the rest of that is probably sugar.
It's probably all. Let me swirl it up.
You've never had that before?
I've had espressos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this tastes like that. But it's more like a hybrid, I think.
That's the legit jet fuel.
They don't measure the sugar when they put it in. They just.
Did you guys get this from Cubanera?
I don't know where she got it. Wherever you get
the new sandwich place.
The sandwiches.
There's a new Cuban sandwich place in town. It's phenomenal.
I'm not sure when I'll be back out here.
Right around the corner.
That's why you dragged all the stuff with you. You're like, I am not coming out here twice.
No, I figured I can kill two birds with one stone.
We'll go gator hunting out here. It's my backyard.
Can you take me tilapia fishing or something?
I know the best bluegill spots in Coral Springs.
Nice.
I take my kids there all the time.
That's fun. It's fun fishing. I can't wait till my kid can do that. We can just go golf course fishing or doing anything. You know?
I live on Coral Springs Country Club golf course, and there's great peacock fishing, great bass fishing on that course. Like I'm talking like 10-pounders.
Wow.
Yeah, the golf course is where it's at for sure. There's some really good places in Parkland, just up the road, and there's this one place we take the kids it's like a pier on a lake, right? And it's built for fishing. They got rod holders and everything there. But it's really kind of more like a picturesque kind of thing, like typical Parkland, everything's manicured and perfectly crafted out there. And even though it's kind of like a countrified town, or at least to look that way. But incredible bluegill spot. You can't park there. You got to park at the baseball field and then walk like a half or a quarter mile down to the pier. So they don't want a bunch of people parking there and like zooing the place out. So if you go there, you really got to make the effort to get to that pier. But once you're there, so the kids slay the bluegill. Like my son, like we're just going bluegill fishing. It's like no big deal. You just bring a Ziploc bag full of gold hooks and bread. You're all set.
Yeah.
Oh, but Sean's got to pull the socks all the way up, and he brings a buff, and he's like 6 years old. He gets all into it. I'm gonna roll a picture of him on this one.
That's the start.
Yeah, so he goes like that. He's got his Oakleys that we get from the Jimmy Johnson, right? So I always give them to him. So he wears them. And he gets all into it, and he thinks he's the bluegill slayer. So I'm like, dude, I gotta get you catching some mahi or something at least. So
go catch some bait.
Yeah, go catch some bait. So and then Sienna, Sienna's a bass fisherman now at this point, but. Yeah, it's cool. It's a lot of fun taking the kids out fishing. I mean, to me, that's I get just as much joy out of that than me going anywhere offshore and stuff like that.
Well, I get enjoyment just now. I find myself not even caring to go fish sometimes. I'd rather go spend time at home on the weekends and book a trip. So that's an interesting change, but it happens
it's an interesting change, right?
Overnight, dude. But it's not anything that you're upset about, or it is what it is, and you're thrilled to be there. So
yeah, unless it's a tournament, right? I'll tell people if they ask me to go fishing with them, I'm like, well, I'll go during the week anytime you want, but the weekends I want to be with the kids. If they want to go fishing, and that's another story.
That's what's cool about the job too, is I can fish during the week and then do the home stuff on the weekends.
Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely a benefit about running your own operation. All right, I'm going to finish this.
Do it. So tell me about the bridge.
The bridge. All right. So I'm trying to get some dates in my head about that. I guess it was about a year and a half ago that actually it was more like 3 years ago. They approached me about it. And they said, hey, we're thinking about doing this. Atlantic, Boulevard Bridge. You can do murals all over it. And I'm thinking, all right, cool. You know what I mean? It's all over water, and they want me to paint this bridge. And I'm like, but I'm all in, of course. That's epic project.
Yeah.
I'll totally do that. And I don't like using the word epic unless it's warranted. And that, to me, is an epic project. So I was like, all right, cool. So they're like, all right, you're a guy. We got to go through all these city things and budget things and blah, blah. We'll get back to you. A few months later, I followed up. Nothing. Finally like, oh, yeah, no, it's still on. We still need to, whatever. So fast forward 2 years from that point, I'm thinking it's a dead project, right? And then Horatio from the city of Pompano Beach, the CRA, gives me a call and he's like, "Hey, buddy, you ready to go? Let's go. Let's do it. The bridge. We were all approved. We're ready to roll." All right. I'm like, "Yeah." So we got to go through contracts and negotiations and all this other stuff like that. And I come to find out that they're like, "Oh, well, you get to do it in the studio. Ultimately it's a signage project and the wrapper and the whole thing." I said, "Well, that's even better."
Yeah.
Right. Number one, I don't think it was really going to be in their budget for me to get out and like paint the whole thing, because that's a completely different
Hanging
operation.
off the scaffolding or something.
Yeah, and it was just taking a long time out in the hot sun, and that's a little bit different. But so we were able to do the whole thing in here in the studio, and even through all the approvals, and they gave me all freedom on the project. They just wanted to be kept in the loop of the whole thing in case there wasn't anything stupid going in there.
Yeah, that looks badass.
Thank you. So when it was all said and done, I probably worked on the project with them for about 6 to 8 months, getting everything dialed in. I mean, these are huge files. You're talking about panels that are like, some of them are 35 feet long by like 10 feet tall. And a couple of them were like 66 feet long. Damn. And like 9 feet tall. And if you've ever worked with graphic files, like I know you have, that's a big ass file. And probably the biggest challenge of the whole project was how slow those files moved, and working on like that size of an image. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And like, if I wanted to like change something in layers, I had to just like make sure that I really wanted to do that.
Clear you next week.
Yeah. Clear you next week. Exactly. Or do one thing, go take a break, go get some lunch. By the time you come back, that fish moved. But yeah, it was a big operation, and it was also kind of like a really different animal than anything else that we usually work on, because of the size and the complexity of the whole thing, and trying to design everything in flow and make the whole thing we named it Atlantic Harmony.
Yep.
Just because we wanted to represent a lot of the species that are in the area. I didn't want to just do a sailfish piece on there or just like a meat piece. I still wanted to include like the tarpon and the snook that we have, and
awesome mullet you got in there.
Yeah, and the mullet and the bait fish, especially because I'm like,
grapes, everything is.
Yep.
You're right. It's
got the sea grapes. Yeah, I just tried to really represent us without putting people in there, and hopefully it came across. Hopefully people see it the way I wanted it to be, and I tried to give some love to like the mammals and the everything. So trying to make it a whole full circle kind of situation.
Makes everybody happy. So
and then the Pompano Beach sign on the south side is kind of like a gateway to Pompano Beach, and so it's a little blood, sweat, and tears, and it's a done project, and we're pretty proud of it. So, and then we had the big party at the end, and and signing prints, and the mayor was there, and like it's all that kind of cool stuff. So
sweet.
Yeah, it was fun. So it was nice because a big project like that, and my mom's 85, so she comes out to it and like gets to see. So it's nice to like, for me, I kind of looked at that project in that way, to where it was a way of like kind of rewarding my parents. Like saying, hey, thanks for always believing in me. Thanks for like always supporting me like through this whole endeavor. And here you go. You know what I mean? So it was a really proud moment for my whole family. And so I don't even want to say that it was like, yeah, I got that bridge and I did this. It really was kind of like that. Just show my kids, and they're proud of daddy and like all that. So it's really a very meaningful project from that respect.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Yeah. And even like growing up in the area, and you're able to like show your friends and like, yeah, you're the one that's on the bridge and stuff. Oh, that's cool. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I don't like talking about myself like that. You know what I mean? Try to stay like humble, but
that's why I'm always behind the camera, and people like point a camera at me. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like you guys right now.
Yeah, it's true. Like even like I feel that way even like when we take the picture after this thing for like the thumbnail. I'm like, all right, take a picture of us. I'm like, I enjoy doing this stuff. Like the podcast. I enjoy like. I am gregarious, so I like talking to people and hanging out. And that was one of the reasons that we started this, is because people would always drop into the studio. I ended up talking to them for like 2 hours.
Of course, yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I might as well just set up some mics and like put this out there. So that's pretty much why we originally started it, and then it turned into like, all right, it's a good way to network, and it's a good way to get people. Everyone got into it. You know what I mean? So like all my friends are like, oh, I want to come on the podcast, and everyone's kind of getting into it. So we're really just trying to create a community.
Cool.
You know,
That's fun.
yeah. Do you plan on doing anything else with your photography that, like, beyond like the magazine work?
I was talking a while.
Like, you should have a show.
A TV show?
No, like an art show.
Oh,
with your photography.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
You should have an art show. No, seriously, you do beautiful work.
Oh, thank you. But I would love to obviously sell more shit, but
yeah,
I don't know if I have time always to
put a site up.
I have a site. I was telling him I haven't worked on it in 10 years because I'm so focused on my job and then going out and fishing and making new content where it's like you don't find time to sit in front of the computer all the time. You know, I sit in front of the computer and write all day. The last thing I want to do is go home and sit in front of there and design a website.
And now you have a kid too.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
He loves wires, dude. He'll like unplug the wire from the wall, and, like drag it around the house, and it's tough to have a computer in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, I try to say that I'm going to work when I get home, like all the time. With the 365 project, it was like a lot of it was done at the house, but you guys still got to like put the kids down.
Yeah.
So there were many nights I didn't start until like 10.
See, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to work throughout the entire night.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. You know?
It's not healthy.
And my next day is going to suffer because of it. So you need to be at the peak all the time.
Right. Especially writing editorial and stuff. You can't.
Yeah, my eyes.
You got to be focused.
Wiped. But yeah, I would love to do like art shows and I'd love to collaborate with some other people. And it's just finding the time to do it is, it's everyone's got it. You know, you're pulled in so many different directions. You're trying to work with other brands and what other business ventures you might be involved in. And it's just how much time is there left at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the people don't see that with the creative work is the amount of time that goes into it. You know, people are, you know, always like a lot of time you get a lot of messages that you can't even respond to, and people get mad at you. Like, oh, I emailed you 2 weeks ago. You didn't hear? I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I'm just, you know, you get every day lasts 5 minutes to me.
That happens to me. My phone's got voicemails like probably a couple hundred, and my wife's like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "This is normal. I don't answer them."
Exactly. You know, unless it's like that name pops up that I know. I'm like, you can't pick it. That'd be my job is just answering the phone all day long.
No doubt. I need an assistant.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really, I mean, the creative work. I mean, it takes time, and you know, you want to have a life too. You know, I did that at the 365, and when it was done, I was just like, what the hell? I'll never do that again. I mean, it was cool. Again, like all those pieces and everyone loved it. It was very entertaining for the people that saw it happening in front of them, but it was, oh my God.
I thought it was amazing. And it was so fast because now you kind of like kicked yourself in the ass because people are like, oh, you can make this in a day or in an hour. And you're like, oh, look what I sketched out on the way to Disney World in the back of the car. Like, now you set the bar.
Yeah, it was, that was, I don't regret it. I mean, now that I did it, I'm like, oh, it's a badge of honor. You know, I'm like, all right, cool.
Those are epic, dude.
You know, but it's like the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. I was just like, I did that, put a fork in that ahi tuna, and that was my last one. A stick a fork in me. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, and then after that, I kind of like, I don't think I drew anything for like a month. I was like, all right, I'm just going to write a bunch of emails and answer the phone and talk to people and go fishing and whatever.
That's so I would rather just go shoot and stack clips, you know, for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then wait for a rainy day to like kind of go back. And like when I do stuff, because of the magazine, we're running 6 to 10 photos per feature, so it's not like, you know, I go on a week-long trip to Panama or wherever it may be. Dude, I got thousands of clips, and then it's like, oh, we're going to use 6. And I'm like, what the fuck? I always fight with my creative guy. I'm like, can we do more? He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, So if it's enjoyable to go back into the archives and find stuff, you know, because I'll purposely like breeze through them real quick. And then I'm like, whoa, look at this. I never saw this. And that's enjoyable. And I figure someday when I have time, and I keep saying someday, but I'll have a website or I'll have a book come out or I'll do, like you said, an art show. But it's like, I'm not there right now. I don't have the time.
Yeah. It's really tough when you got a 1.5-year-old at the house.
Yeah, I don't know if that's holding me back so much.
It is. You don't realize it yet. But like one day you're going to look back and be like, oh, yeah, that really sucked up a lot of my time. You know what I mean? But it's just because you wanted to. It's a good thing.
No,
you know? I'm not saying that's a negative thing by any means, stretch of the means, but especially as the next couple of years come on you, you know, it's going to get like even more.
Yeah.
Because, they start walking more and becoming more demanding.
Oh, dude, he's climbing all over the place now.
Yeah. Wait till he starts telling you what to do.
That's coming soon. He's not talking yet, but he's close.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So, that's cool, man. That creative life's an interesting one.
And now everyone's got a camera too. So.
Yeah, everyone's got a camera, and obviously some guys are better at it than others. But when you see a true photographer like in action, and so much more goes into it other than just clicking. You know what I mean? There's the prep, there's the effort, there's the thought behind before you ever even get out there.
Yeah.
Take us through some of that process. I mean, like compared to like someone who doesn't know. I know I might be squeezing you for.
No, I'm fine. We obviously you got to be technical with the camera. You got to know how to adjust the light and things of that nature. Composing the frame too. But then for me, it's kind of the experience from fishing my whole life that you can see where the fish is going to jump, or which direction the fish is traveling underwater. You can kind of foresee what's going to happen, and then kind of try to capture that frame, which is fun. But yeah, it's a lot of the underwater stuff is just being comfortable in the water, and technicality. The camera settings are important, but it's more about being there and capturing the moment.
Right.
The best photographer is not going to get shit sitting at home all day, and I'm like, well, fuck, the sails are biting. I got to be out there, I have to be out there, or else someone else is going to do it. So that's kind of my thing. Gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Someday you won't be able to.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go. That's why I always say that. Even if it's like a meeting or like an important event or whatever, and then you meet like a key person there that really changed the entire trip, and you're like, well, that's why you go. And you gotta go, and you gotta go. And that's why you go. Because if you didn't know that was going to happen before you left, but it did because you were out there.
Yep.
You didn't lock yourself in a hole. So it's important to get out there.
No doubt.
Whether it's for that reason or whether it's to catch the right moment or anything like that. So it's cool. And a lot of people don't see the prep that goes into the work, or they just see the end result. And we get that here too. We're just they'll see like a painting or even like an illustration or a sketch or just like a shirt design. It's like, well, you didn't see all the revisions, and you didn't see like the sketch process that went into that, and the yeses and the nos, and so they just see that final result, and they go, oh, that's great. Can you create that for me tomorrow? It's like, no.
Yeah, and then you got negative feedback. It's always negative. It's hard. You don't often get the praise, which not that you're looking for praise is why you're making creative shit.
Yeah, but you like to, that's sometimes that's a result of the work, you know what I mean?
Certainly.
Yeah. So you try to get that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on, man. You ready to catch some mullet?
I am. I'm thinking about going out there after this. I have a lot to do, a lot to edit, but
are you gonna go fishing today?
I just saw. I don't know. It's hard not to after that mullet pod I just saw on the webcam there.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, they were getting blown up too. There were a lot of tarpon on it.
Yeah. Right on.
What camera are you looking at?
Hilton Beach. By the time these people hear it, they'll be long gone. So Hilton Beach, Fort Lauderdale. I heard there's a lot up in Pompano right now too, working their way down. After this storm, I guess we got another good push of bait coming through. But it started out really good right after the hurricane there, and then kind of slowed down a little bit. But now they're starting to show up again. Got another good push.
Yeah, right on.
I want to go swim.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Fort Lauderdale's pretty clear right now.
Water
clarity is pretty good. Yeah.
And water in Palm Beach is terrible right now.
Yeah.
Is that where you went out?
Boca. Yeah, it was silty. West wind should clean up the water, but it didn't. There's a little swell, so it was just fucking terrible.
Yeah. There's a good swell up there now too.
Yeah.
It's gonna get bigger throughout the week.
Wind's coming up.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Well, go catch some fish. So, Steve, thanks for coming on today, bro.
Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, man. So, that's what I'm saying now. Your ego is not your amigo. Right? Just do your best and let God do the rest. And always remember to eat, drink, and be local. Connected by Water, Steve Dougherty out. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, buddy.